Okay, I know we're redoing episodes, but we can do without the typos, right? It's even in the title. Oh, it's actually Shochu, not Shoju. Okay, well, I guess so. We're going to be talking about this Japanese spirit instead of Korea this time. So we're going to figure out what the difference is and whatever else we can find. So I guess Kampai again and join us as we have a drink.
Welcome to Have a Drink, the show where you learn along with us about what you drink. I'm Brittany Walker.
I'm Justin Frazier.
I'm Christopher Walker.
And I'm Casey Price.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, howdy, hey.
I was about to go into Mr. Hanky. It's really good.
Good hanky.
I just realized I needed to have the safety net of the I wasn't reading it, but I was like glancing at the the sentence of like how to introduce.
Yeah.
God, what is wrong with me?
I got one line at the end. Not a whole lot there. It's like if I can't remember my name, I'm hurt.
Well, it depends on the day, doesn't it? Like,
depends on the drink.
Depends. Are we in part 3 of the Prohibition episode?
The marathon of all things. It's a marathon on Prohibition seems like the one.
I started having my
day
Vietnam
4 of Prohibition.
my Vietnam flashbacks watching some Simon videos, and he mentions Prohibition, and then was like, someone was asking, like it came up in another video. They're like, was Prohibition just in the U.S. at that time, or was it like a global thing?
Yeah.
The temperance movement was global, but it was really only the U.S. where it really took hold.
The rest of the world was like, "Whoa, whoa!"
They were talking about that on TMS recently.
See, it's everywhere right now. For some reason, everyone's like, "Oh, Prohibition."
It's coming back.
No, it
like Beetlejuice.
Not.
We
were talking about that earlier. I don't know whether to think to be like, oh, I want to see the new Beetlejuice, because it's like all the people I know with horrible taste in movies say it's great. So I'm like, well, crap.
What I all I can think of with it is that evening with Kevin Smith, where he's talking about doing the Superman movie for that Tim Burton ends up directing, that got canned.
Yeah.
And it's like it starts out with him talking about being doing some script work, and they're like it's like, well, we got a couple of things maybe you'd like to try to take a pass on. It's like after Chasing Amy, and he's like, I mean, okay. It's like, well, we've got this one. I forget the first one. It's like, and then there's Beetlejuice 2, Beetlejuice Goes Hawaiian. And he says, didn't we say all we needed to say with the first Beetlejuice? Must we go tropical? And like the second they announced a sequel, I was like, didn't we say everything we needed to say about Beetlejuice?
Yeah, that was my feeling.
Really, we should have set up that bit to have someone rise up after the third time someone said it in like the Beetlejuice stuff.
I will say, so speaking of things that letting sleeping movie dogs lie, one that they shook awake, and I think for the better, was Alien, for Alien Romulus.
Oh, I've heard good things about that.
So it goes places because all Aliens movies have a fourth act. Like, surprise, there's another act. And we're going to throw some horrid shit at you during this. Because it's always the like, oh, here's where something really grotesque is going to happen.
Mhm.
And sure enough, this one delivers. I won't spoil in case you want those nightmares.
Mm.
But that's kind of when it goes off the rails, but you're so horrified. You're just like wide-eyed, like, the hell am I watching? Everything up until that point, you would swear you're watching a movie made in the 1970s. Some people have knocked it for that. They were like, oh, this thing looks terrible. It's like it's made in the 70s. It's like, no, I want that. It's like the same old, like, cheap, shitty models that they use in miniatures to film a lot of the space stuff. I'm like, that is amazing. The attention to detail and all the spaceship interiors look the exact same as the 1970s Alien. And I'm just like, oh, it's so good.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind. I don't mind the miniatures. What gets me is whenever they upsample the old movies into 4K and you get that weird grainy texture that you're like, oh, this was filmed to 4K. That's not looking good there.
Yeah.
But it does. So the first, what is it? So the opening for the movie and the first 5 minutes is dead silent. When I like, they do that in space, no one can hear you scream. And it is just, it's over the shots of miniatures and kind of like distant shots of a solar system. It's kind of slowly zooming through it. And it's just, there's no music. There's no nothing. And the whole theater, I stepped out to go to the bathroom and I walked back in during this and I held my breath. From the moment I walked in, I sat down and I'm like, my face had to be turning red. I'm just like, because it just like, no one was breathing. That's how dead silent it was in this theater.
I don't need this. I'm so glad I didn't go because I would have.
That's like it's an entirely different thing, but that's like the beginning of Fury Road where I forgot to breathe.
Oh well, that's
because it's just so intense. You're just like
the opposite. You're like, once again, what's happening?
I can't. It's just we are nonstop.
No, but then you take a deep breath, and then they're like, "Oh, get ready," because we've always talked about how shitty of a like overlord company Weyland-Yutani is. We're gonna spend the first 20 minutes of this movie showing you exactly what they do to the people on these building better worlds slogan. It's like we're gonna take you to a Weyland-Yutani mining camp. Get ready for some depression.
Nope.
All right. Well, Chris has gone to go watch Alien Romulus. Anything going on with you, Brittany?
I really should be better prepared for this. I feel like
I don't anticipate it coming ever.
What have we been doing? I have no idea.
That's okay.
We met random possible acquaintances at a bookstore because of Emmett.
But we need to contact again. I feel bad.
I thought about asking them to the thing at the school on Sunday, and then I was like, well, they don't go to that school, so would it be weird?
Well, they want to check it out because they're thinking about moving here.
So. Yeah. Extra.
Emmett made friends at a bookstore.
We were at Barnes & Noble randomly. We didn't even mean to go. And in Florence, we went to Five Below. That was our goal. And next, it's Five Below, and then Barnes & Noble, and then Shoe Carnival, all right next to each other. We went to all three for no reason. And
no, you went to Five Below because that's the place where you can take your child, and you can whatever they go. Oh, can I get? You just go, yeah, whatever. Because it's going to be
Emmett knows the store by name
below $5. So you're just like, yeah, screw
in
it.
theory,
whatever you want.
I thought it was a place that was preparing you for the cold.
That's what the logo looks like, honestly.
Because it was Five Below.
I wish.
Only.
So yeah, we're in Barnes and Noble, and he and this little girl just start talking, and then he's like, "Have you seen this?" And they're like yelling, going at the books, like, "What about this character? Oh my gosh, look at that!" And I'm like, "What is happening right now?" And his mom, or the little girl's mom, is there, and we're just like, "Hey," it's like,
well,
so
welcome to your new friends.
No, yeah,
essentially, and they're really cool. So I ended up like it was to the point that like, so the little girl's like, "We're gonna go look at Legos," and it's like, "We're going to look at Legos, Mom," and I was like, Sure, yeah.
It was
Okay.
literally the stepbrothers thing. Do we just become best friends?
She's in
Because-
first grade, so a year older.
Mhm.
But they are both equally obsessed with Mario.
So much
She
so,
had a Peach shirt on and Peach and Daisy shoes.
But
for the play date, though they ended up having 2 days later.
Yeah, because I was like, hey, do you want to? Because they mentioned the park that's like a mile from our house, and because they were like, well, we're thinking about moving around or moving somewhere up there, and we don't know, like, if it's worth it or whatever. She's like, we really like that park, and I was like, hey. So they both bring probably as many Mario / Pokemon toys that they could feasibly like carry in a thing.
She brought a purse full of Pokemon cards.
Yeah.
and Emmett's like, "Where's my purse, Mom?"
Look, if he ever, well, he brings his little tiny Mario backpack. That's
Uh-huh.
basically a Loungefly bag, without being that pricey.
Yeah.
So they even got like rando other kids involved at the playground at the park. So like we look over and then like everybody's sitting there. We're looking at Pokemon cards, playing with Mario Karts, and we're like, here we are, our kids.
But they were dressed identically. Which was fun because we both, and when we all realized it was like, we're like, oh, he dressed, like he picked his clothes out, and they're like, she picked her clothes out. But they were both, he was wearing a Mario shirt that I can't remember what characters it had on it, and teal shorts. She was wearing a Princess Peach and Princess Daisy shirt with teal shorts. And they were just like mirrors of each other, and it's just like, what is even happening?
They act exactly this, like we're like, okay, here we are. And it was also nice because her mom works at the Contemporary Art Center downtown, which when I was in college and I went the one time during art class, like it was not free to enter, and now it is free to get in. And I was like, okay. Because they have a whole, like the top 2 floors are all interactive kid play art things.
Nice.
So yeah, I'm like, maybe we should take him down there and I can get a discount. So yeah, it's been interesting.
So he's having problems making friends at school. Take him to the bookstore, and
yeah. Oh, and then I effed up my back. I'm in the effed up back club.
Welcome to the club.
But because all the effed up backs seem to come from something of your all's own doing.
Oh no, it's totally my fault. We were at this place called Top Jump in Pigeon Forge.
It's one of those like trampoline indoor park.
Super
things.
fun. I am in love with that place.
$100 for the whole family
for 90 minutes
to bounce around for 90 minutes. Turns out that is exactly how much time it takes to absolutely exhaust a 5-year-old.
Yeah.
Best $100 I could have spent.
And I got to do the rock wall.
Oh, nice.
My arms were jelly afterward, but I was like, I love this so much. I love climbing.
I've wanted to try those at some point to see how that would be. So
they have like 6 different things, and then they've got one that's like, it's called the Dark Tower, but it's all like inside this big thing.
Calm
you can't
down,
see
Bob.
anything.
It's not that Dark Tower.
Yeah. But yeah, and my mom got a picture of me climbing the wall. She's like, oh my God. She's like, you actually climbed the top. And I was like, yeah. And like, my arms are very weak now, but it's fine. It was fun.
And then after that's when you're like, so I know what I need to do.
Emmett and I were in they have a basketball thing with the trampolines.
So I want you to tell it slowly, because every time I get to that point, that's when anyone I know with back issues goes, oh no. It's like I just completely went dumb. So I was trying to help him shoot the basketball in the one of the goals, and because there was like a taller one at the opposite end. But anyway, so we're on the same trampoline. There's signs up everywhere, by the way, that are like, hey, don't
one
do this.
person to a trampoline, and I'm like, he's 5, it's fine. Obviously. So at the same time, because this is where it went wrong, at the same time, I go to like step to jump with the trampoline as I'm raising him up. And so this horrid pain shoots up my back.
So your back says, oh no.
I'm like, I basically throw Emmett down the trampoline and was like, I was like, I can't. I'm not okay.
And then Emmett comes running because it's like this little back, almost room. And then Emmett comes like running out of there, going, "Mom's hurt, Mom's hurt." Employees are falling out of the rafters.
They're like, "We have ice. Do you need anything?"
They're like, there's some of them are like in the middle of spotting kids. They're like holding them up on the like rock walls, and they just fuck this kid, let him go. Like,
this kid probably doesn't have a lawyer.
Yeah.
Well, it's weird because you have to sign a waiver before you even go in the place, before you can buy tickets. So yeah, but they're like, "Are you?" There's like 5 of them, like,
and they didn't leave either. Like like after a little bit, the shock wore off. She's like, "I'm fine, I'm fine." They were standing right there.
They're like, "No, we're gonna make sure some stuff's okay." But yeah, it was horrible, and I had to take 2 leave before the show. I've got ice on my back currently.
Oh yeah, I know that. I know that trick. You ice down your back for the show, and
yeah, it was bad times. Other than that, the trampoline thing was really fun. I liked it. I mean, I didn't
up until she ruined her back.
Yeah. I messed Emmett up because I was like, oh Emmett, watch this, because I had a trampoline growing up, and I did the bounce onto your butt and then like hop back up on your feet, and he was like, and then he did not succeed, but he tried 1,000 times to try to do it.
Me knowing better, because Dad weighs a lot. Dad's butt I knew what was coming. He's like, "Dad, do it." And I'm like, I'm going to put some faith in the fact that this place has put enough space below this for me to do this. And I did it, and my butt hit a metal bar. And so I was like, well, we're not doing that again. And I just kind of played it off. And then it's like, "Come on, Dad, do it again." And I was like, "Dad can't do that again." Dad's going to break their equipment. And Dad signed a very lengthy waiver.
Yeah.
It was, right? Yeah, so that was fun. That was our time. We went to when we were in Tennessee last weekend. So
yeah.
You left out that whole, oh yeah, we went to Tennessee again.
Yeah, that's where it was. Sorry, I was Pigeon Forge.
Casey, how about you?
Your mic's off.
I tell you, I don't prep for these.
Yeah,
you heard me?
Yep.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. I'm so used to being able to see like a volume thing in the microphone button. I don't know if that's just Zoom or what. I don't prep for these things. I don't have any idea of what I did or didn't do in the past year.
What is time?
Yeah, doesn't exist.
I know. Okay. Well, I know one thing that 2 of you did in the last month.
I was waiting for who's gonna.
Oh, right. That's the reason Emmett and I were at Barnes & Noble, because he was gone.
Because 3/4 of us were together.
Yeah. We had
doing what we do, drink and doing nerdy
right. Shit. We had my bachelor party ahead of my wedding.
Up until you like 1 or 2 seconds before you said that, I still had no idea what we were talking about. That's how bad this is.
You ran
his
one
hippo
for us, and you completely forgot about it.
Oh yeah, 100%.
No, we everybody came to Lexington, and my buddy Doug got us Airbnb in town, and we did some escape rooms. Casey ran a one-shot of D&D for us.
Smoked some meth. I mean,
we did get
ice cream.
We did, yeah. There was some ice cream, but
we went to Void.
We did break out the ancient Baba that had been sitting in a barrel for 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a good little tasty taste.
Had to go to Void, and I gotta say, hadn't been to the new location. The vibes are good.
It's a good location,
but the vibes are good. I mean, it was a live band, so I mean, you expect it.
Yeah. That first week they were up there. Their first month, it was like a live band every time I was up there, and they finally gotten away from that. And I was like, okay. Sorry, I had to sneeze. But like they still have live music, but it's not like every single week. I was like, okay, good, because sometimes I'd just like to get there and enjoy a drink in silence, as men do. As alcoholics do.
So just cry into your sake.
Right. But besides that, I've bought a house.
Important. Yeah.
We've started to move in. The important utilities are in: water, power,
Internet.
Got that fiber internet now.
Yeah.
Feel the fiber. You know what I would give to have fiber internet again? That was
Seriously.
the one thing I miss from when we lived in Covington.
Mm-hmm.
And that was like brand spanking new place. And it was not fiber to the node. It was fiber into our closet. There were fiber optics hanging out of the ceiling.
It's wonderful.
That when we started this show. And that's one of the reasons we're like, oh, we can do this. Like, we've got all the internet we want. And now we've moved, 2 or 3 times. And it's like, oh, I wish we could have that back.
But yeah, I should be moved in by the next time we do the show. Or at the very least, my computer desk will be set up in a room filled with boxes.
Yeah,
one of the two.
that happens for a while.
You could be doing your part of the show from a car.
I did. You will laugh when you finally see the internet connection name, which is just bad connection.
Yes.
You just got to name it No Internet, and nobody will ever touch it.
That's what mine is. It's named No Internet Access.
Mm-hmm.
Or you should name it Definitely Not a Pineapple.
Mm-hmm.
No, Casey just keeps a pineapple out front on the entrance way to his house. That's not a sign for anything, right?
Come over and we'll see.
I have to bring Chelsea too.
Is that what that means?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
a
I didn't know it
swinger
was
sign.
like the menage a trois or the
It's the swingers.
switchy. Okay.
It's an upside down pineapple.
Mm.
That.
Who thought these?
I don't know. But
I like that Brittany is one wondering who came up with this, and two, why do you all know this?
well,
I mean-
I know because one of our neighbors has stopped me because I love delightfully tacky things now. I guess it's just when you get to that point when you're like, oh, I'm like a middle-aged dad. I've just got to be, a walking embarrassment.
Mm-hmm.
I need the shortest shorts and the brightest of colors. It's just life. I've got a pair of hot pink Crocs with pineapples on them.
Because they were on sale at that quote unquote outlet store.
I told her to just
Outlet.
get me, when she bought them for me, I was like, get me the gaudiest pair of Crocs you can find. And that's what she got me. But anyway, I'm taking the trash out and I get stopped by 2 neighbors who would look at me with the knowing look. And they're like, pineapples, eh?
That's not cool. I love pineapples. Not.
In my head, I'm like, well, I couldn't find a grapefruit one. So
Well, then they've seen that and we said, "Oh, someone's getting grapefruited."
let's say 5 people ever get that joke.
It's like
that joke spread around the internet pretty well for a while.
it's like the watermelon thing up here. Like that. I don't. Weird. Why do we?
The watermelon thing.
Yeah, it was something about that Kroger over on Paxton and Oakley.
Oh,
In Hyde Park?
That was a different thing. You'll be like, you can't watermelon someone.
Oh,
know.
Not with that attitude, you can't.
So I need the Urban Dictionary for that.
Let me go see.
No, it was the thing where you if you put a watermelon in your cart.
Yeah,
to,
it meant you
it
were
means,
down.
Yeah.
People would go to that Kroger and put watermelons in their cart to look for swingers.
Yeah.
No joke.
How
My
else
boss
do you
told me
shop
that.
for
I
a
was like,
watermelon?
What's happening?
Sorry, a search Urban Dictionary watermelon. It's a fruit. Don't act like you don't know this.
I appreciate that.
Thank you, Urban Dictionary.
That might be the best definition I've ever seen from there.
They're basically like, just calm down.
Keep it in your pants.
Oh God. All right. On that note, let's talk about an alcohol you can make from watermelon.
We're not that drunk. Cheeky bastards. We're not that drunk. We're not that drunk. We're not that drunk.
Casey, I found out that you can make shochu out of basically anything.
Interesting. I
I
thought it
feel
was
like
just rice.
I mean, if you're really trying anything for alcohol, it's like, well,
Can I make it? Can I make it in a prison toilet?
Well, so shochu,
Only
simply
in
put,
Japan.
is a distilled Japanese spirit made from a myriad of ingredients. The most common are rice, sweet potato, barley, and buckwheat, though chestnut, shiso, and radish shochu are also available. So I'm sure you could make a watermelon.
Ain't nobody wants a radish shochu. That's just like, oh, we made these radishes and don't want to eat them. What can we do?
That is,
It was. We don't have any other fermentable thing around, so grab the radishes.
those ingredients matter, but shochu is largely characterized by the cultivated mold koji. When propagated and added to the fermentation process, koji adds an underlying and defining umami to the spirit. The flavor it imparts can be subtle and floral. Think like white miso or mirin, as well as punchy and fungal, like a rich red miso. Span the gamut from miso to miso.
It's like New England clam chowder. Do you prefer the red or the white?
what's red? Is that a thing?
It is, and it's horrible.
Yes.
What the hell is that?
That comes back. That's like a 1990s joke.
It's like
Going back to Ace Ventura.
vegetable soup with clams in it.
Ugh.
Oh,
Yeah.
That should be the reaction of anyone.
no.
This can't be.
Join us next time on Have a Drink for red New England clam chowder. Who can
Or
drink?
don't. Nobody's going to eat red clam chowder in this group. As for me and my family, we will not.
Is that just a euphemism for the time of the month?
First off, it should not be chowder if it's not creamy.
Right.
Oh God, I hate my. Oh. What did I say?
You did this to yourself.
I
You did. We got a quote here. Shochu has such a unique flavor thanks to the koji, which is an umami ingredient found in other Japanese foods like soy sauce. That's not a very helpful quote. Shochu undergoes 2 fermentations over the course. I cannot speak tonight, guys. I am sorry.
You know the drink.
Well, if you insist. If anything, it'll make me not care that I'm saying it wrong.
You know, I feel bad because I'm already teaching our child to give in to peer pressure. Like when we're ready to go to bed and he's still got like a hit of milk left in his cup and I want to brush his teeth so we can just get everything over with. I'm like, all right, drink it. And then he'll grab it and I'm just like, chug, 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 chug.
Yeah. I wouldn't expect anything less of your son.
It's okay, Chris. Anytime that we need to take medicine out of those little like Tylenol, liquid Tylenol cups, we could do the shot song.
Shots. Do you do that version or do you do the
It's
the
that one.
possum? I was gonna say the Possum Posse has the mashup with that and the Golden Girls theme where it's like, thank you for buying my shots.
So that just, I have to go back to it because an internal running gag. We have to get on 2 sidetracks here before it goes really underway. So Jimmy officially passed Betty. So Jimmy Carter is officially over one Betty White.
Yes.
So, and we have to get to October 22nd before the century of Jimmy is solid. I know the man's barely hanging in there. but we've got to get there. The man's been around for he's been around for a quarter of the existence of the U.S.
This does not relate. I'm just going to put that out there. I mean,
None of this relates.
okay. New tangent. The James Earl Jones thing.
Oh.
Why are we off on this? We were being all hopeful and bright about the century of Jimmy, and
No, well, I just wanted to point out, I don't care what anyone's feelings are on Big Bang Theory. You need to go watch the clips of James Earl Jones on Big Bang Theory
I had not seen it until
doing Ding Dong Ditch to Carrie Fisher's house, and it was just the best thing I've ever seen.
I haven't seen those clips, but I have seen that James Earl Jones and Carrie Fisher both said that they had never actually met
Yeah,
in
until-
person until that.
And apparently, the first thing she ran up and was like, "Dad."
Well, when he passed, Mark Hamill was like, "I just lost a father today."
yeah.
And they're
I-
like, "Mm."
The clip is so good, and I just the keeping people around thing, and that it just reminded me of that, and I was like, no,
the
you have
clip
to go
is
watch it.
Fantastic, because Sheldon somehow bumps into James Earl Jones, and then the two of them are like just running around doing crap together. And I guess James Earl Jones has made a habit of ding dong ditching Carrie Fisher, because they're like walking up to the house, and Sheldon's like, "Whose house is this?" And he's like, "Carrie Fisher's, but she's crazy. You gotta be sure to run." And he presses the doorbell, and James Earl Jones like runs and jumps into the bushes, and then Sheldon's like, that takes a second. He's like, "Oh crap," and then runs away. And then here comes Carrie Fisher in a bathrobe outside
With a bat.
Yeah. James, it's not funny anymore. And she in the bushes, and why am I laughing?
It's so good.
I don't know. I have to get back to the topic, or we will never get through
James Earl Jones anecdotes.
Yeah. Where was I? Shochu undergoes 2 fermentations over the course of several weeks, one with koji, water, and yeast, and the second where the main ingredient is added. It's a slow and steady process. You don't make shochu, you raise it, says Stephen Lyman, the author of The Complete Guide to Japanese Drinks. The final mixture is distilled in a pot still, either a copper or old school cedar one, and then aged until the final proof to a low octane 20 to 25% ABV.
So I gotta know, does cedar like have some kind of property that keeps it from rotting away as quickly?
Yeah, that's actually exactly what I was going to say. Is that it's rot resistant.
Okay.
Whenever you build garden beds and you want them to like last a while, you build it out of cedar.
Gotcha.
That's why that void, that like
They have that cedar
quad that smelled so good.
Yeah. The custom built table that they got from Japan?
No, but they had it made by somebody here in the States, but it's
that room smells so good.
Sorry, I'm not just thinking of Parks and Rec where Ron Swanson's the doctor and they've put the tongue depressor down. He's like, "Oh, Balsa, you couldn't at least give me some cedar?"
Yeah.
So the word shochu is the Japanese rendition of the Chinese Shoju. I don't know. Meaning burned liquor, which refers to the heating process during distillation. That's less cool.
Yeah.
I would have my gut instinct was like, oh, because it burns on the way down. But in fairness, it's 20%. It probably doesn't. The Chinese way of writing Shoju with that character, you'll have to look it up yourselves. I can't. But that,
to be fair, that character looks like a bottle of liquor.
Well, it means sake in modern Japanese, which writes shochu using a different character instead, which also looks like a bottle of sake with like a handle on the other side.
Yeah.
Nevertheless, both characters just mean liquor.
Sake in Japanese isn't a type of liquor; it's just liquor.
Because that's a thing we'll get into in this, but basically, shochu is just liquor, and they will call sake, they will call some places will call sake sochu.
See, that's one thing I got confused with. I've been watching he's an Englishman who has lived in Tokyo for like a decade, but he does like weekly videos. And it's like hey, how not to look like a jackass Westerner when you visit Japan. And where was I? They were talking about the shochu that you can get, and I was very confused. I was like, does he mean soju? Like, I didn't think that was Japanese. But it's coming together in my brain now. Because there are some restaurants you can go to that have shochu taps at the table. And you can just pay for them to turn the tap on, and it's literally like you can drink as much as you want during the time you have paid for.
I think they have something like that in a Korean restaurant here. I'm not 100% sure, but I think that's something I heard about. Or I'm thinking of a different restaurant. But all I know is I want to go there. I just don't know where it is. I'm just going to start going into buildings and saying, do you have a all-you-can-drink tap? No?
See ya.
They bring you big cups, but they have it marked down at the bottom on this. I was very blown away by the fact that they have the small ounceage marked off on the cups, and they're like, only drink this much. And they even brings up, he's like, the Western mind looks and goes, I'm going to fill this cup to the top.
Right? That's what I was going to say. Like, yeah, no, you give me a large cup. My brain goes, I'm drinking from the whole thing.
Yeah. You're like, this is going to be like, I'm going to have a big gulp. I'm going to pull out. It's on.
Well, as we've discussed soju in the past, shochu is from Japan and soju is from Korea, or also Japan, as Japan liked to think back in the 40s.
Oof.
Under government rule, Honkaku shochu, authentic shochu, is distilled just once, while soju is typically distilled multiple times and then amped up with citric acids and sweetness. Soju has the Korean one has a clean, neutral, lightly sugary profile that is more similar to a vodka in process and neutral profile, and goes fantastic with Sprite.
Yes, it does.
I couldn't imagine the other. What's the Sierra Mist with grapefruit? Ugh.
Oh, yeah.
I had a little too much tequila and Sierra Mist with grapefruit one evening.
Yep. Yep. Yes, he did.
That's a lot of bad nights end. Yeah.
If they didn't want you to drink it, they should have made it legal for you to bring other stuff there. You wouldn't have had to mix it together to hide it.
Right. That's exactly it.
The phonetic similarities between shochu and soju have caused decades of headaches and confusion among producers and consumers. American legislation didn't help this. Up until November 2023, for the Japanese spirit to be sold in California, it could not fall above 24 ABV, and it could not fall above 24% ABV, and it must be labeled as soju.
Because we don't really bother to check things.
Not
here.
to confuse anyone.
No, right?
So be fair when they're like, oh, this is what it's called, and they translate it. It's like, literally, that just means liquor.
Mm-hmm.
You got to give us something else here.
You'd have been surprised if that had been like Ellis Island, though. It'd be like, just whatever, man. Just that's the name, whatever.
I feel so. That's like the Irish moonshine isn't moonshine; it's Pachin, and that's like, oh, what do you bring him? You got anything to declare? Yeah, 3 liters of Pachin, and then they're gonna be like, what? It's just a soft drink. Don't worry about it.
Not important.
That's our Celtic studies professor who accidentally had them in his bag. What was it? It was when he was going to check it, and then he set it down too hard, and one of the things exploded.
Oh,
so there he is with Irish moonshine soaking through his bag.
That's always a good sign. Right before you go through security.
Always wrap up your glass.
That he embarrassingly has admitted his contacts in Ireland are former IRA members.
I mean, in fairness,
there's a few of them about.
In fairness, Ireland forever. Kill the filthy English dogs.
I love that picture someone got of what is like a McDonald's wrapper, and it says made from 100% British and Irish beef, and then someone took a picture of that, but over like,
oh yes,
the Troubles explained.
By the way, more tangents because we're now on Ireland. But I ran across an article recently of Billy Connolly talking about his friendship with Robin Williams, and I was like, oh, "This is very heartwarming and now very sad."
Yeah, it did. As soon as you said Billy Connolly, like I start to smile, and then I'm like, oh,
yeah. Because they were comparing notes because he had gotten his Parkinson's diagnosis and Billy Connolly had gotten his whatever was it he has. Is
it not Parkinson's also?
He may be Parkinson's as well. I couldn't remember if it was the same but they were like comparing notes and it's basically he just went, "Come on over to Ireland, we'll have a good time," and he's like, "All right," and they flew over. They got some well, I don't know about drinks, but they had a good time because you can't give Robin too many drinks. Couldn't anyway. All right, well, let's get back to the episode. We are tangent filled tonight, guys.
I just have one Billy Connolly tangent thing to add to that. His favorite curse was Jesus suffer and fuck. He said because there's nothing else you can say. He's like, you've said it all. He's like that. He's like, no matter the situation, you've just said it all.
Oh, that's great.
And then in his best accent, Jesus suffer and fuck.
Yeah, fuck's definitely got like 4 other vowels and
like he's from Glasgow.
Yeah,
it's a different place. All right, Shochu production has been historically attested to since the 16th century when the missionary Francis Xavier visited. Oh, why'd you do this to me?
Look, I had my words. It's your turn.
Kagoshima Prefecture in 1549. He recorded that the Japanese drink arak is made from rice. Are we getting into Dune here? But I have not seen a single drunkard. This is because once inebriated, they immediately lie down and go to sleep.
that's a good.
It's a
process.
I mean, in fairness, there's very often that I'll get like, "Oh, I'm drunk. I'm sleepy now. Bedtime."
The oldest existing direct reference to shochu in Japan can be found at Koriyama Hachiman Shrine in Okuchi, Kagoshima.
Kagoshima.
Yeah.
Kagoshima.
Yeah. There's like, don't try to stress any syllables.
Okay.
The syllables are not what you think.
There, 2 carpenters working on the shrine in 1559 inscribed the following graffiti on a wooden plank in the roof. The high priest was so stingy he never once gave us shochu to drink. What a nuisance.
Yeah.
I also have to imagine that was done in like one single character because kanji is very confusing to me.
Yeah.
Well, except we've learned liquor literally looks like a bottle of liquor with a handle.
In fairness, I think it's probably closer to ancient Egyptian than you would give it credit for, where it is a little bit pictographic. Because like when they combine the stuff to make the symbols, they like, oh, all right, this is this, and you put them together to make this thing, and then it gets more complicated because you then merge more things, and I don't know. I really don't understand the language.
From these early times, through the Edo period, shochu was produced throughout Japan in the traditional kasatori way, using single pot distillation during the
Meiji.
The Meyer period.
It's not Meyer. There's no R's.
Super not that.
The
Yeah.
column still was introduced to Japan from Great Britain, making affordable mass production of high purity, multiply distilled shochu possible. That high purity. During a time of chronic rice shortages. So, yeah, you got to be able to make some good stuff when you don't have much of the base.
Gotta stretch that out.
Shochu, made the traditional way, was called old style shochu.
Very creative.
Is that akin to Old English?
Mm.
Oui. And that produced using the new multiple distillation machinery, new style shochu. So it was the new Coke.
It was crystal soju.
Well, in the early 20th century, Hajime Katahira, 1884 to 1936.
That's correct, actually.
Oh, okay.
Well,
I'm going to screw this next one up, definitely.
Minosuke Korose.
Kurose.
Minosuke Korose?
Kurose.
Yeah.
Minnesota.
And we'll go ahead and say the next one then. And
Tsunekichi Kurose.
yeah. In Kasasa village in Kagoshima prefecture established the Korose Toji Guild.
That would be Toji would be like brewers, so that's
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a brewing guild.
Okay. Through their experience in both Okinawa, Owamori, and sake production, these men revolutionized traditional shochu production through the introduction of black koji.
Once you go black, Koji, you never go back, Koji.
And multi-stage fermentation. Oh my gosh. This is like completely like, oh, let's take your tongue, pull it out your nostrils, wrap it around your head, bring it in through the back of your skull, and now try to speak.
What's this supposed to help? I have absolutely no idea.
Wherever he lands.
There shall he be buried.
Prior to this multi-stage fermentation process, shochu was made in the Donberry style, with both koji inoculated grains and the main ingredients added to a single fermentation. Today, almost all authentic shochu is made with a multi-stage fermentation. At its peak, the Kurose Koji Guild boasted more than 500 members who would travel throughout Japan to produce shochu from local agricultural ingredients. Tamaki Inui? Doesn't sound right.
Yeah, that's right.
A lecturer at University of Tokyo succeeded in the first isolating and culturing
Aspergillus.
Yeah, I was like, I know what this is.
This one's not Japanese.
Such as a kawachi, a awamori, and a variety of subtaxa of a orzae. His contemporary Genichiro Kawachi, the time frame for that last person's life is 1883 to 1948. Just so the scene is still set.
Mm-hmm.
Who is said to be the father of modern Shochu, with his development of the Kawachi drum koji machine, as well as the isolation of white koji.
White isolation, not usually a good thing.
Also known as A Kawachi, which is named after him. These discoveries result in great progress in producing high-quality shochu in Japan, but the Kawachi drum machine and other innovations led to the eventual demise of the Kurose Toji Guild, which today has just a handful of active members.
Well, at least it's still there. But
still kicking, but primarily continues to live on in a museum in Kasasa village. Aspergillus, developed by Kawachi, has also been used for soju and makagoli in Korea. Did we just
discovered a new topic to talk about?
I have no idea any Korean things, pronunciation, anything. So I got nothing. How to say?
All right. Well, the actual drinking of the stuff. Shochu should not be confused with sake. Don't you dare confuse it, even though they're like 90% the same thing. Don't you dare. Shochu should not be confused with sake. Its taste is usually far less fruity and depends strongly on the nature of the starch used in the distilling progress. Its flavor is often described as nutty or earthy.
These Shochus.
Shochu is drunk in many ways according to season or personal taste.
Some of these are pretty obvious and kind of dumb.
Neat. On the rocks, mixed with ice, are known as raku in Japanese. Diluted with room temperature water, mizuwari, or hot water, oyuwari, mixed with oolong tea or fruit juice.
That actually doesn't sound bad.
Yeah, I was just like, that sounds delightful.
I've got some oolong tea in there. I kind of want to go make some.
As
also, I can't think of oolong tea without thinking of a shape-shifting pig because of Dragon Ball.
As chuhai, it's a shochu highball. Mixed drink consisting of shochu, soda water, ice, and some flavoring, often lemon, grapefruit, apple, or ume, East Asian plum. Mixed very cold with a beer-flavored mixer known as hoppy.
Give me a hoppy.
Sure, a hoppy ending. Shochu is widely available in supermarkets, liquor stores, and convenience stores in Japan.
Okay, in Japan. I was going to say I beg to differ on the first part of that statement.
Well, canned chuhai drinks are sold in some of Japan's ubiquitous vending machines. Ah, yes, the vending machine.
Can't wait for that.
However, it is more difficult to find shochu outside Japan, except in urban areas with large enough Japanese populations. Interest in shochu has begun to grow in North America, particularly in cosmopolitan cities such as Los Angeles, San Francisco, Vancouver, Toronto, and New York.
That's the thing. You just need to get a culture that's really into cosmos.
Dedicated shochu bars have begun to appear in New York, and more than 100 brands are now available in the U.S. market. Why don't we have any here?
Because we're not in Los Angeles, San Francisco, Vancouver, Toronto, or New York.
But we have Jungle Gyms.
You got a sake bar. That's all you're getting in rural Kentucky or semi-not urban Kentucky.
Suburban
Horse Farm, Kentucky.
In
College Town, Kentucky.
In Kyushu, the center of production, shochu is far more common than sake. Indeed, their sake generally refers to shochu and is sometimes consumed mixed with hot water, uwari, especially in cooler months. First, hot water is poured into the glass, then shochu is gently added. The liquids mix naturally.
You caress the shochu bottle as you pour it. Gently.
Mix naturally, and stirring is unnecessary.
I mean, you could also just take both and just go, let them mix as they go.
Typically, when serving a standard 25% ABV shochu uwari, the amount of shochu exceeds the amount of hot water and is enjoyed for its aroma. Occasionally, shochu and water are mixed, left to stand for a day, and then gently heated. The traditional pre-dilution technique is known as mewari in Japan.
That's when you that gentle heating is when you gently caress the on button to your stovetop.
Somebody that's got more patience than me.
I mean,
you put it between your thighs and let your body heat warm it.
Casey, if there's a culture out there that's going to have more patience, it's probably the Japanese.
I mean, you're not wrong.
I thought you were going to be like the culture that has more patience than the Japanese. I was going to be like, who?
They are, these are the people who not just Japan, but like, this is the area where the concept of Zen gardens took off. And it's like, no, you have to do everything very precisely, purposely.
I kind of like that. I would be a monk if it meant that I wouldn't have to deal with the hectic lifestyle. It just meant you were doing one thing very well, methodically.
What if that one thing was collecting honey?
Methodically, and I would just let it sit there and drip until I no longer saw drips, until I very methodically.
Well, the Japanese method for collecting honey is to bust through the beehive like the Kool-Aid man, cover yourself in the honey, and then let it drip off of you.
So you all are coming at this from like this very tranquil, peaceful side of things, like this idyllic thing. And I want to gently remind you
about World War II.
The Japanese have a word for worked theirself to death.
Yes.
And then I will say the Finnish have a single word that means underwear
drunk.
Drunk, yes.
That's where I thought we were going.
Now, which culture do you want to be a part of?
Not nearly as fun.
You want to be a part of work yourself to death or underwear drunk?
Look, work yourself to death is the closest thing you can get in this day and age to a Viking funeral, to a Viking death.
I mean, yeah. All right. The early 21st century witnessed a consumer.
The early 20th century.
The early 21st century witnessed a consumer boom in Shochu with Japan, and in 2003, domestic shipments surpassed those for sake for the first time. Shochu bars appeared serving shochu exclusively in premium brands with a focus on particular ingredients. Production methods or aging techniques entered the market. The beverage has undergone a change of image. Formerly, it was seen as an old-fashioned drink, but now has become trendy amongst young drinkers, the chitlins. Particularly women,
I would like a shochu old-fashioned, please.
Oh,
I have to imagine that probably wouldn't work well since you're adding bitters.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Bitters to an umami drink.
That's true. That actually could be good.
The boom also had negative effects. It caused a serious shortage of sweet potatoes, a basic ingredient of some popular types of shochu. And with the emergence of expensive premium brands, pricing scams appeared. Look, all they got to do is they want them sweet taters. They just got to come to the southern U.S. We got so many sweet taters.
We got them in casseroles. That's about it, honestly.
God.
Well, yeah, we've got them in pies.
Oh, that's true. We do.
You don't like maple mashed sweet potatoes?
Oh, yeah, baby.
I
make sweet potatoes for like regular dinner occasionally. Like we'll smoke a chicken and then get some sweet potatoes, throw some like brown sugar, cinnamon on top.
Mm-hmm.
There's some sweet potato fries that Kroger has that I will sometimes get tossed in the air fryer, but
yeah.
Anyway,
Get wrecked.
but what I truly, truly want is just a regular baked potato.
Yeah, not these days.
Because I am an Irish man.
Son of a.
What was it? No, I actually don't even think Casey saw me do this, but in college, I would just go to the baked potato bar some days if I had like rush for lunch, and then just grab a potato straight off the bar, get a little bit of butter, rub it on the outside of the potato, and then just start walking out and eat it like an apple.
I do not recall seeing that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I don't think you actually ever saw that, but
You are correct. I do not recall that.
All right.
Anyway,
Yes. So, yep. Current Shochu
Mhm.
options.
that's our version of the King of the Hill. Like, yep, right?
Yeah.
Mhm. So, let's look at a list from liquor.com about some Shochu suggestions. Since it seems a good place to start, as with any spirit. So the best
There-
It's
overall-
in the name.
Suggestions, even.
Yeah, I was like, this is horrible to say. It's one of those words that, like, if you're actually drinking, you're just like, damn it.
Why? It's Dana Carvey had a bit where it's like the judicial system is the terrible word because you can't say it without sounding drunk. It wasn't me. It was a judicial system.
Yeah. So the best overall they are rating is I don't know if that's I assume that's a capital I. So Ichiko Saiten, which is 43% ABV. Interesting.
Yeah.
Tasting notes: mineral, yum, peach, and pepper.
Made out of barley.
Yeah.
By the way, I said this in our group thing earlier, but to quick thing, I've discovered that there's a parallel experience to seeing one of us in a liquor store where we walk in, like, you know, the I know more than you as we're walking around, and it's seeing my fiance go into a makeup store.
Oh yeah.
And just like she'll come in and it's like, oh, and like she's trying to find something, like literally helping customers at the same store. She's like, oh, you should try something like, yeah, that's going to fit better with your skin color.
If
So
I say
today,
that, I get arrested.
right? So today we were in there shopping for stuff, and I heard them say something like there was something that was going to be a peach color. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah, peach. It's like, yeah, we'll do peach, and then let's head over to Mario. And I was like, oh, I can contribute to the conversation. Oh no, there's a makeup made by somebody named Mario.
Yeah, it's makeup by Mario.
And you're sitting there the whole time going, it's me.
Just the fact it came from like Peach to Mario, I was like, there's no way this is not something that I can chime in on. Oh no, there's a way.
Now that's when you wander off and find something named Luigi and bring him in. Here. This just fits the naming scheme. Thought you needed it.
You'd have better luck with a daisy, I think.
I should find all of these things and bring them to my friend Yoshi.
I don't think there would be anything called Bowser, though.
Not yet.
No. Yes. Okay. So
I would hope there's no makeup called Goomba.
That sounds racist.
It does.
that sounds horrendous.
It's like Guido. Is it Guido?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. So there's a quote about this, I guess, from the liquor.com article. So when I'm first introducing someone to Shochu at the bar, I love to show them Ichiko Shochu. Describes whoever this person is. This is a barley-based shochu from Oita Prefecture in Kyushu. Sonwa Shori is the distillery, or Shorori, and they are leader in the category of barley shochu in Japan. In their portfolio is one classic style of Honkaku barley shochu, Ichiko Silhouette, which is bottled at 25% ABV, But they also have the more creative style Ichiko Saiten, which is more robust and bottled at 43% ABV. Both are amazing on the rocks or in various styles of cocktails. In Saiten, delicious notes of honeydew melon and white grape come through.
By the way, Chris, this one is barley corn, Shochu mill shorts.
Spunk water, swallow these words.
No, thank you, sir.
So, so it mentions because of the higher ABV, the Ichiko Saiten stands up well in mojitos or
Ooh,
a gimlet?
Mm.
Question mark?
Yeah, gimlet.
I can be there.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's a gin drink usually.
Oh, okay.
Takes a gin drink. You take a fucking
You have
drink.
to drink it.
I was
Take a shoju drink.
You take a sake drink.
Gimlet's delicatessen. Are we getting rats? Gotta have ketchup.
Okay, so
Have you seen the Humble Bundle?
No, what?
what
What are
year
you
is it?
talking about?
It's still going strong, and for books, for ebooks right now, they've
There's-
got a huge Terry Pratchett one right now. It's all Discworld books.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's over $400 worth of Discworld books, and you can name your price.
It's a lot of good reading there.
It's like almost the entirety of Discworld, and they're like, you name your price. Like, we suggest $15. And it's like,
15 bucks, little man. Put that in my hand. If that money doesn't show, then you owe me, oh, my jungle love. Oh, we, oh. We're gonna get taken down.
Well,
no, that wasn't anywhere close.
okay. Attempting to move on. So, the best one for cocktails. Nankai Shochu. So, 24% ABV. The base is black sugar and rice.
Black sugar.
Definitely sounds like a drug. Tasting notes,
Tastes so good.
floral, pear, and ripe red cherries.
Pear. Okay.
Babe.
No, I heard hair. And I was like, gross.
Yeah.
I mean, if you live
Yum.
with me,
So when Paul and Mai Nakayama were on their honeymoon in Mai's parents' hometown in Amami, Japan, they were introduced to a black sugar shochu and fell in love.
Oh, that's sweet. They fell in love there. Oh, you mean with the shochu?
I mean, yeah. Inspired to create their own brand of easy drinking shochu made from kokuto or black sugar, they set off to research the process, created Nankai Shochu, which translates to Southern Seas. And now both continue to spread the shochu love in their home state of California and beyond. Nankai Shochu is vacuum distilled and made from 80% black sugar and 20% rice.
Is vacuum distilling essentially the sous vide of distilling?
Vacuum distilling is when you use room temperature or just slightly elevated temperatures, but reduce the pressure inside so that it boils at
The
room temperature.
Yeah, the perfect gas equation. If you change one of the things, you can still get what you need out of the rest of it. So either heat, pressure, other things. I don't remember all of them. It's been a long time since physics.
PV equals NRT.
Yeah, I could tell you the formula, but I can't remember what all of them are.
I have no idea if that's the right formula, but
I think it is actually.
two of them is constants.
Yeah.
hatch away.
What?
Constance, hatch away.
Pressure and volume, and NR are your constants, and T is temperature.
Time and temperature.
Okay. So, well, that very involved process, it sounds, resulting in a fresh, clean tasting spirit, makes for an excellent and quite versatile cocktail base, which
Your cocktail base belong to us.
this is try subbing out vodka in a Moscow Mule or rum in a Hemingway daiquiri with the Nankai Shochu.
I don't know that I've heard of a Hemingway daiquiri, but it sounds very depressing.
Yeah.
And I support subbing out vodka anytime.
Also, we were looking for dog bowls for for our dog for the house.
I'm glad that's where you needed dog balls.
Yes, the reason I'm bringing this up is because they had one that was like copper with like the little
Yeah.
things. It looked like a Moscow Mule thing, and I was tempted to buy it just so it looked like our dog was drinking all the time. But
I mean, yeah.
Making the dog fresh cocktails.
it'd be really funny when I come in there and I'm shaking something up, and then I pour it right into the water bowl, and you're like, "What are you doing?" The dog likes their water chilled.
Oh, that's how I feel when I'm filling up the cat's water from the pitcher from the fridge. I'm like, oh, they need filtered, chilled water, and then they spill it all over the floor, and I'm just like, you motherfuckers. I spent all day scrubbing that floor, and now you spill my gift of purified, chilled water all over it.
Because cats.
And I'm like, you get to drink tap water now.
To be fair, one of them wants to drink toilet water, so it doesn't really matter.
I'll take
God,
that.
It's the orange one, if you're guessing.
It's always the orange one.
Winnie really wants toilet water, and I will not let her have it.
What's with these animals?
That's the dog.
Why do animals want toilet water?
Because it's water, and they don't realize that we use it for pooping.
No, the cats watch me pee in it. They know, they are well versed.
Yeah, and they smell that there's like it has been flushed away, and it should be relatively clean now.
That's right. You can go back in that litter box.
Anywho,
Sorry, we're a problem tonight.
No, I'm only thinking of the fact that we're going to the event thing tomorrow of yours.
See you all tomorrow.
And I'm like, I sleep. Yeah. No.
You don't need it.
Well, I haven't had it all week, so I need it.
Why start now?
The best barley shochu, Mizu shochu, 35% ABV. Obviously, the base is barley. Tasting notes: rich, floral, and stone fruit. Which is a little weird because there's a variety of stone fruits out there. It's like, how do you nail down one? But okay.
Well, you take a nail and a hammer, and then you.
I walked into that one. Mizu's shochu is a single distilled Genshu style shochu made from 2-row barley and rice. It comes in at a hotter 35% ABV. Expect notes similar to a young, unaged whiskey. Floral, stone fruit, and then slightly grassy.
I was really worried about where the sentence was going from young, unaged. And then I heard whiskey. I was like, oh, thank God. I know I wrote this, that this one was cut and paste. Leave me alone.
Yeah, no, I get that. So a quote here: shochu is distilled once and includes only one type of ingredient with no additives or sweeteners. This single distillation really preserves the full flavor of the spirit. So Mizu's recipe dates back 400 years, combining 67 two-road barleys, 33 black koji rice, and water from the Kurukamiyama Mountains. Cocktail-wise, sub it for vodka in drinks, but expect more body and richness. Though, what can you expect from a spirit that took home double gold at the New York World Wine and Spirits Competition?
Like you do.
Also, I'm kind of fine with subbing vodka out of anything because you're like,
that's where I'm at.
Like, get something else in there, make it weird.
Literally anything else.
Put some flavor in there.
I don't know.
I mean, sometimes you don't want the flavor in there. You just want something to get you drunk. So I get
I'm past
not having it sometimes, but yeah, I'm old now, and I
we're done.
The goal that you don't drink with a purpose anymore outside of just I'm thirsty and this sounds good.
No. There have been those days when the child has been particularly difficult, and Brittany's like, "Give me a seltzer," and I just like put a beer on the counter.
Yeah, you're right. I misspoke.
So speaking of flavor from before, the
Flavor
best
country.
sweet potato soju.
Oh,
Shochu.
yes.
God, it's really gonna mess me up.
Flavor country, smoking a fresh pack of sweet potatoes.
I'm picturing a sweet
Yum.
potato cigar.
Oh, yeah.
That'd probably be good.
Mm.
It's only 25% ABV.
What's it called?
Jinko.
Roll over.
So tasting notes: savory, earthy, creme brulee. Okay,
Oh,
you had me there. Jinko calls for a base of satsuma sweet potatoes grown in the Kagoshima prefecture, cooked in clay pots and fermented with black koji. For newer shochu drinkers, Jinko, meaning perfect sky, sure does, has an approachable flavor palette ideal for adjusting your palate to the flavors of shochu. Unlike some sweet potato shochu that are a little bolder, this is sweet, herbal, rich, and buttery. Sweetness chills out as you sip with a minty, slightly herbal finish. Like most shochu, it's distilled just once to keep the fragrance and characteristics of the sweet potato. Sip this one on the rocks.
I'm so hungry right now.
they go back and forth, and everywhere I've researched about how many times it's distilled, and I have just given up.
Fair.
It's
But
simple distilled.
Single, multiple, never distilled. It's
30.
just a potato.
Just beer.
I found a new bourbon warehouse. Sorry, with work. Down by
Out
the
of nowhere.
river. New Riff.
It's a van.
New Riff, I guess, decided, hey, maybe aging all of our whiskey in a concrete aging facility next to a metals reclamation facility where there are literally exploding cars on a daily basis. Maybe that's not good for the whiskey. And so they built a giant facility out in the middle of nowhere. And I just stumbled across it. I mean, it's not like they're hiding it. Like you drive past it and there's just like a huge New Riff thing across it. And I'm like, oh, so they caught on to people don't want to buy a product if they think it's
So, Chris,
with pollution.
what you're telling me is, and I'm not going to say I'm proud of this, but you found that it's a Rick house.
Yes. It's still not a proper Rick house. I'm still going to give him a lot of crap for that. It's like it looks.
It's a Richard house.
My goodness.
Sorry, Casey.
You're such a Richard.
Oh, so I should have gone with Dick House.
I'm shocked it didn't go there to begin with.
How these things go.
All right, let's get back to the stuff. I'm sorry.
Oh.
So if you're wanting to go with something that's a little bit more, how would I say this? American, but also less polluty with your liquor. You could go with the St. George, California rice sushi, shochu. With this one, you're looking at an ABV of 40% from a base of California rice. Tasty notes are crisp vegetal, super malty.
Thought you were going to say creosote. And I was just like, is my brain just in
Pratchett land?
Yeah.
By the way, does the California rice, do they also have a marketing campaign where they sing Motown?
Like the raisins.
Yes.
Those raisins, they got a good deal. I haven't even gotten through the initial title, more or less, for this section.
I'm sorry.
That's where we're at.
Gonna get off into the California raisin.
My brain's broken. I'm sorry.
No need to be sorry. But this ever innovative West Coast distillery has transplanted this Japanese spirit to the other side of the ocean, giving it a unique California feel. The California rice there. It's made by distilling the lees left over from local sake producers and steaming them with the local Calrose rice and koji spores. That sounds wonderful.
Right.
So, along with that, you're going to find that I've lost my place. After fermentation, the mixture is distilled through a copper still, resulting in crisp vegetable, super malty, and slightly sweet Cali Shochu. Take a look at the label. It nods to both the California state flag and the Japanese national flag. The brand's favorite serve is in a highball, or favorite way to serve. You can make great takes on the martini by adding vermouth to the spirit, and even try smoking the spirit to add fragrance. And do an interesting take on the Manhattan or Old Fashioned, says Charles Bayment, beverage director at the Bristol in Chicago.
See, I guess I was not that far off by suggesting Old Fashions earlier.
Old Fashions to everyone. That's what little Timmy is.
The ghost of Christmas. Okay. Quick one more tangent. About little Timmy got me here. He's not the ghost of Christmas present. He's the ghost of Christmas near future, because it's the next morning.
Yeah. But it is the next morning. That isn't the next morning yet.
Christmas right now.
Present being 24 hours time
yeah,
present-ish.
right. Sorry, it's always stuck in my craw.
Always love the Christmas present-ish.
Because it's for all time. At any given moment, somewhere in the back of my brain is going like, he's not the ghost of Christmas present.
Just where you go. All right. On to our last Shochu.
Next to last.
Is it?
There's two more.
Oh yeah, I guess so. I was going to skip one here. We're talking about maybe the best flavored, and not best flavored, but the best that has been flavored.
Mm-hmm.
Mizu green tea Shochu. You know what I'm talking about. ABV is 35. The base is green tea and rice. Oh, that sounds amazing.
Right.
Tasty notes of matcha, passion fruit, nori. Yes, please. I'm going to have to go find this one. Green tea has a strong tie to Japanese history, of course. It is said the first seeds were planted in the Saga Prefecture over 800 years ago. Mizu was inspired by this legacy, translating earth-rich sencha into fragrant shochu. I should have drank tea. I want tea right now. More like their standard bottle, the shochu is distilled from 2-row barley and black koji rice, but during the fermentation and distillation process, fresh ureshino green tea leaves are added. Ureshino. The resulting spirit is rich with big notes of matcha, passion fruit, and nori. Tried in a snifter with a dash of hot water. Now we went a little too far with that. Or in a highball with soda water. We can maybe take care of that. At 70 proof, that's double the 35%. It's bold and buttery with a big amount of body. It's like a giant Chardonnay.
Yeah. It is yeah, sorry. I'm just now picturing the Chardonnay of sakes, of sochus. Oh God.
Can't not say soju. It's impossible.
Well, let's have this last one. It's the best for sipping. The Kumejima Kumasen.
Kumate.
How to do that?
Oh no, I was just making a what's the Van Damme movie? Bloodsport. Kumate.
Oh.
When we were walking through the mall today, I was trying to explain to Chelsea how to fight her way through a packed store. I was like, no, you could hands up, elbows in, and get ready. When someone comes in, reaches in, you just elbow them down. And then, like, maybe as you're doing, like, get very Muay Thai with it. Maybe start shouting kumate as you hit people. And she's like, what is wrong with your brain? I don't know.
You all have a living mall?
Yes.
We're
in Kentucky.
Ours are all like zombie malls.
Except, well, no, the Kenwood Town Center.
It's not a mall. It's a town center.
It's a mall.
No, there's a Kenwood Mall. I've been to it. That's where my eye doctor is.
They also say there's a Florence Mall, but
so the Kenwood Town Center has an Apple store inside. It's a mall.
The Florence Mall is still alive. I will attest to that. But
I have regrets.
Many other malls in this area are just like zombie shells where there's like an arcade, one half-ass anchor store, and that's it.
If there was still an arcade
Arcade?
in
That's
our malls, I would be there. Like that's
Right, I would be there right now. Well, not right now; they'd be closed. But
It's up here, up at the crap. What is it? The Eastgate Mall? Whatever they wanted to call it. It used to be like a mega mall. It rivaled Mall of America back in the day. And there's like a restaurant in it and a penny arcade. Like no joke, penny arcade.
they have live webcomics being made there.
No, you can go in with a roll of pennies and just like have fun. I think it's operated by a bunch of nerds who are just maybe independently wealthy. I don't know, to be able to keep paying rent.
God, why aren't we all independently wealthy?
Why can't we all be Bilbo Baggins?
I blame Magic the Gathering. And Pokemon cards.
I blame Pokemon Go. Because those remote raid passes, they ain't cheap. My ass ain't driving out to go do those raids.
All right. So,
Well,
Casey, tell me about this sippin' sake.
This
Sippin'
sippin'
soju.
sake. So yeah, good call on catching that. 24% ABV with a rice base, tasty notes of earth, anise, and banana.
Banana.
This bottle is a traditional awamorai, Okinawan spirit made specifically from Thai long grain indica,
Probably indica.
which is also a strain of hop's cousin. Awamoris are stored in clay. Awamorai?
Awamoris.
There we go. Are stored in clay pots that help mellow out the flavors. It's not a shochu for beginners. It's earthy, herbal, fungal, and slightly sweet. Ooh, right up my alley. With notes of ripe banana. Savory and fatty. Kumajima Juminsen.
Yeah.
Is made with black koji mold.
That might have been a typo from the original article.
Ah, gotcha. Well, it is made with black koji mold. Okinawa's hot, humid climate is ideal for the growth of this bacteria. Is it fungus?
Hot and humid for fungus?
Mold.
For mold? Yeah.
Koji mold. Bacteria or fungus?
Oh, it should be a fungus. I don't know why they said. Look, I didn't write this bit. I didn't write most of this bits.
Disappointed. No, I'm just kidding. The distillery is located high.
Getting married in a couple of weeks. I was busy.
This distillery. No, never mind. I'll wait. Is located high up on the mountain, giving the producer access to cool, clean water and crisp climate. Drink it chilled on the rocks or straight up. Let the pleasant umami flavors shine through.
Straight up, now tell me, do you want to drink this forever? Oh,
I want to drink the one above it. That's passion fruit and green tea.
Having fun.
Thank you, Chris. I would drink most of these. They all actually kind of sound pretty fun.
For sure.
But it's real hard to find Shochu in Kentucky. Surprisingly, right?
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
With this city's love of cosmos, I would have thought. All right. Well, let's get on to what we're drinking.
Sparkling Muscatel, one of the finest wines of Idaho. Would you taste it for us, please? Ooh. Excellent choice. Should be for 95 cents.
I would pay so much money to have a sparkling Muscatel. It has to be from Idaho.
I mean, you pay like 75 cents, right?
All right. It's got to be a premium for being able to get it from mine.
So, Chris, Brittany, what are you guys drinking?
Not to style in the least.
I don't think any of us are.
A variety of things.
I don't remember. So.
A plethora.
I don't know. Brittany's
the pumpkin.
She a sweet potato beer.
I don't know why I glanced up at the Mad Tree logo and my brain read it at first immediately as Starbucks. It just saw like a bunch of lines on a circle, like a green dark color thing with a bunch of like white lines. My brain just went Starbucks.
Sure. Yeah.
There's no green on that can.
There's not, but like it was like a dark whatever. Shut up.
I think like the lighting's weird, but yeah. I mean it's a annual favorite, and I'm glad it's still around, and the art on their stuff is always amazing. So
because there was a year that it wasn't, and that's when we were going down to the brewery and getting growlers filled.
Oh, they didn't release it at all.
Yeah.
There was 1 year they didn't do it at all, and then it was the next year it wasn't canned, but they were like, it's on draft, and I'm coming down there. It's like, I've got like a gallon worth of glass here. Can you fill me up? And they said, boy, can we?
They said, we'll fill you up, Buttercup baby, just to let you down.
Yep. That's where we're at. Yeah, it's good stuff.
And I'm going through the excess because, hey, there was a bachelor party, and we planned for there to be 100 people there, it seems.
We planned the liquor for it.
We grabbed liquor to have choices.
Mm.
And then we all just like spread it amongst ourselves at the end of everything.
As we do.
So now I'm chewing through all that in the fridge. But I already had all of my own stuff. So I started with a Wienermobile, a Fest Beer Lager from 50 West, and then moved on to a Sierra Nevada Oktoberfest Fest beer.
Hey, if you want, you can bring some of that beer to me, and I can load it in my fridge at my new house.
And then moved
That's
on.
not a bad idea.
You can offload your excess beer to me.
Moved on since I'm a lightweight now, and I was like, oh, 2 beers in, and I'm feeling it. We need to go light. So I grabbed a Rheingeist Cincy Light.
It's actually,
and then I'm like, held it up. I'm like, no, that's pretty light. It's as they say, it's like sex in a canoe.
Pretty close to water.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, keeping the ABVs low and the malts flowing.
Well, I have not been keeping the ABVs low. I've been drinking some Toji from Suntory. So
the most on style of us.
It's at least Japanese
and distilled.
And distilled.
I mean, yeah, you're.
Look, a case can be made that the pumpkin was close because that's very sweet potato-y.
I would give you that what you're drinking, Bob, is aged shochu. Barrel aged shochu.
I mean, you can do a barley shochu, so
yeah.
This 43%. This I believe was like out of Casey's get rid of my liquor stuff. So I was looking around going like, God, I wish I had something Japanese because I did not want to drink a whole bottle of sake. And if I had started, I would have drank a whole bottle of sake.
You can't pop and not and stop, you know.
I mean, I can't. Theoretically, I can. It's possible to put that thing back in the fridge and to be fine. But
no, completely inappropriate to do.
Everything in your mind tells you, nope. Once we take that cap off, that we're committed.
It's quitter talk. That's why you have to finish your food.
Mm-hmm. There are sober kids in Japan. But no, this is pretty great. It's got a lot of got like a fruity date, little beginning flavor to it. The nice clean finish. Little bit of a burn, which is pretty nice. Real fun story from the bachelor party. My roommate does not drink, and he was there with us. And
we're shoving in his face.
Chris was like pouring out some whiskey, and poured a glass for him. And I was like, "No, you don't. He doesn't drink. It's fine. You don't need to pour that glass." And he's like, "No, come on. This is good bourbon. You'll enjoy it." And he tries. He's like, I just take I'm sitting right next to him. Take a sip. Go, smooth. And he's just like,
drinking.
It's Four Roses single barrel.
Yeah, and he was like, "This is." Oh, I was like, "Just dump it in my glass. I got you."
Isn't Four Roses single layer the one that's like over 100 proof?
Probably.
It's high. But look, we killed that bottle off, and I've had that bottle since college.
There we go. We did good work, at least in one thing.
I've been trying to kill that bottle for years.
But yeah, no, this has been delightful. And I'm glad I picked it up from Casey. Thank you, Casey.
Anytime. For my end, I have something fairly special, and I also didn't know I was going to be getting it until like right before I came here. What do Magic the Gathering play?
You can't drink Magic cards, Casey.
Well,
Yet.
I mean,
I was waiting for one of you to come back with my phrase and say, "Not with that attitude."
indeed. But while there, you can be gifted a bottle of mead, which I was tonight from a friend of ours who is now making mead and did a pretty good job at it. So the one I've got is a mid 14%, I think is what he said. Apple and cherry, which is nice, good, good overall fermentation quality to it, good flavor.
Here's the question that I know Brittany wants to ask. How's the tussin?
It's like, I think it's real cherries, not like cherry flavoring, but like real cherry was in it. It's got the color of that, and so it's delicious. I had it in like a little snifter by itself, and then also poured it over some ice whenever my Sprite ran out, and it was really nice there. It is not super sweet either, so that very like slight sweetness, which is nice. Yeah.
Well, all right.
Let's say you shut your card shops down. Just an FYI. There was a card shop briefly in Prestonsburg, and we got that place shut down quick when we were the only ones showing up for Magic tournaments, and we were bringing a bottle of Aftershock.
The guy that I played against last week had came back in after, because where I play is right beside a liquor store.
Uh-huh.
They brought their own ice in a Ziploc bag to mix their own drinks. Like,
wow.
And this was Jack Daniels and Dr. Pepper, I think, was what was going on. And he was a little glazy.
Oh,
Good
yeah,
Lord.
that's a standard. That's a regional delicacy right there.
And he still beat me.
Uh,
But he had like probably a $1,400 deck. So
how do you afford that back? You know what? Never mind. Anyway,
you drink the cheap Dr. Pepper, the Dr. Thunder instead.
No. You're drinking Dr. Wow.
Dr.
should
Wow.
be drinking Mr. Thunder. He didn't even have time to get this doctorate.
He ain't got student loans to pay.
All right. Well, today's show was written by me, mostly by other people. Actually, this is one of my more plagiarized ones. I have a wedding in a couple of weeks. I'm sorry. And it was from sources like liquor.com, which we just said, Food and Wine, Wikipedia, just shocking amount from Wikipedia, and satsuma.co.jp. So I feel like this was a decent primer, though. So maybe sometime down the road we can, learn more and get more information. So do a better episode.
Along with the episode.
Maybe
we need to do an episode where we take all these rice liquors and try them back to back.
Oh my.
Casey's like, oh no.
I mean, I like rice liquor. I actually do. As far as like categories go, it's the most neutral and best tasting to me.
Mm-hmm.
So I would not be opposed to it. I would be much more opposed to like a vodka than a rice liquor. But back to back is always rough.
It is.
Okay. Well, if you want to go back to back and back with the episodes that you listen to, I don't know where I'm going with this, but you can subscribe and get some great resources at haveadrinkshow.com and follow us at Have a Drink Show on social media and twitch.tv.
More YouTube. Yeah. Than Twitch, I think. But anyway, you can also tell us your favorite drink, ask a question, or just leave some general feedback. Use the email address feedback@haveadrinkshow.com, or you can use the feedback page on the website. I did get a message in a bottle the other day, but it just said, "Help, I'm stuck on this island," so I threw it away. So keep trying.
Send out an SOS.
All joking and fun aside, we'd like to remind everyone to please drink responsibly.
All right. Well, you can catch us in another month. I can't remember when the exact date is for the next one, but
Who knows?
yeah, anymore. Life is weird. So you can still check out the website and the store, still active. You just have to go through the website to get to the store. Not a big deal. Anyway, so we will see you guys then. Once again, I'm Brittany Lee Walker.
I'm Justin Frazier.
I'm Christopher Walker.
I'm Case Price. We'll see you next time.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.